short earlier just now because my puppy was having a seizure. She's okay. Um, she is my Chewy is a special needs puppy. We got her from a shelter when we lived up in the Adirondacks, and we didn't know that she was going to survive. She was part of a litter that the mother basically destroyed, and she was the last surviving puppy. And they basically grabbed her literally from the jaws of death. And so Mama had her basically by the head and was shaking her and had destroyed the other puppies in her litter. And so she's got scarring and things like that. She's always been a little bit off, some neurological issues. And when she was much younger, she would have seizures a lot more often. As she's grown older, she didn't have as many. And I'm finding now that when she goes out into the yard and she gets her happy stick, and I call them happy sticks because whenever she finds a really nice stick, she prances around and she jumps like a little deer, and it's the most adorable thing. But we also have Okay, I just refreshed the devices. I don't know. For some reason, my regular mic doesn't seem to like haps, or maybe it's my internet connection. So hopefully you can hear that. Anyway, what I was saying is, I don't know if anybody else has puppies who have seizures, uh, but I wonder if you're finding an association with that as far as moss or something goofy on the sticks, and then when they ingest it, they end up getting seizures and stuff. Oh, well, that gets my adrenaline running. Nita says my audio is back. I had to switch from my good mic, which is here, to my webcam mic. So, random thoughts for the day. I kind of went off track because of that. Oh, the reason why I live stream. I am kind of curious to know why other people live stream. Um, it's not For me. It's not necessarily about building an audience. It's about being present on a platform and hopefully building an audience. I see a lot of potential here with HAPS, and I also see a lot of opportunity to game it and not do the right thing by the platform. And what I mean by that is people who, anytime they see an opportunity to monetize a platform, uh, they take advantage. And Nita says, perhaps she live streams because I told her to. It was a strong recommendation. I would not presume to tell you anything. But my story with live streaming, it started off in Blab. It was to get comfortable in front of the camera for no other purpose than to be comfortable uh, seeing myself out there, hearing my voice, what it sounds like, uh, and learning how to speak. Because being home alone, especially when I was up in the Adirondacks, when it was very remote, very few visitors, and nobody really to talk to. There's my squeaky dog. Nobody really to talk to except for my dogs. And so that was the way I got to talk to other adults. And more so with Blab than Periscope. The reason why I really didn't jump onto Periscope was because I didn't feel like I was talking to anybody. At least here, I have an opportunity to bring uh, people onto the screen with me. If I want to do an interview, I can. If I want to just sit and have a group chat and hang out with a few people, I can. So that whole solo, kind of like what I'm doing here, has never quite been in my comfort zone. Am I getting better at it? Well, yeah, because I can just, I've been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for a few years on and off through trying different platforms and stuff. I see a lot of people from Periscope. I recognize a lot of people. Um, and kind of funny because Bobby Shadow, he's the one who introduced me to Haps. He sent me a link and he says, "Go check this out." And I jumped on board. I'm totally addicted to this place. And he said Meerkat, and I was like, "Holy crap! I completely forgot about Meerkat. I had an account there, and did I do anything with it? It's kind of like Snapchat. I have Snapchat, and I was doing 10-second blurbs here and there, and now I barely use it. So why am I here? It's to continue practicing, to speak, to monologue, to talk about my random thoughts, and see where it goes. I have other shows. I do interviews through Geek Insider. We have great interviews through Geek Speak, which is our flagship interview show. And that's on radio apps and your listening apps like iHeart and Amazon and Pandora and things like that. So I'm using this more for my personal vlog, uh, my ledger, if you will. And so I'm on day 42 of my health and wellness journey. I try to keep positive, but when I really think about it, I'm fighting gravity every single day. I am, trying to be upbeat. I try to stay positive, and there are just times when I'm low energy. Live streaming helps get me out of that. It helps me talk myself out of the dark place, out of depression. It keeps me busy. And then there are some times when I'm just procrastinating, when I don't feel like doing anything else, and I'd rather just talk. That's why I do this. I'm kind of curious what everybody else does, why they do it. And again, people who are coming from Periscope, they've built up a huge following. They come over here, they're hoping to bring their followers over, and I think that's great for the platform. And if you notice, Haps still says beta, so they're growing, and they're growing exponentially, especially after the news that Periscope is going to close their app as of March 2021. So, I have ideas that I'll probably send to Haps as far as ways that they can monetize the platform and stay above board, because I've seen a lot of beta apps come and go. They often get into trouble when it comes to monetizing because the cost of these servers are not cheap. And so, I would say if you like this platform, buy Coin and help support that and tip each other. I mean, but right now, the only thing that I'm seeing as a way for them to monetize is through people buying coins. Well, right now they're going to game the system. They're going to get as many free coin as they can and hope that people tip them. And hopefully there aren't going to be a whole bunch of others who just go in, with sock puppet accounts for the sake of accumulating coin and tipping themselves. I can see that happening. I don't remember. I mean, it's only been, I think I'm on day 11 here or something like that. I don't remember doing like a KYC, know your customer thing. I don't remember giving them anything but an email address, really, to prove that I'm me. Would I be willing to? Sure. If it helps keep the platform clean from sock puppet accounts and people who are trying to game the system, I would absolutely submit securely my driver's license to prove that I'm one person. And I hope that's something that is seriously considered. Because again, it's a way to monetize and people will game it and they'll take advantage and then the platform goes to shit. I've seen it way too many times. Other ways to monetize would be to allow people to Nita, thank you for the tip. I just gave you a tip. But that's sweet. Thank you. Mic drop. Okay, other ways to monetize the platform would be to allow premium live streaming. So anybody who's serious about it and is serious about this app would willingly pay either a monthly fee or maybe an annual fee and maybe get an a la carte option where people who are serious can add on things like their intro, their outro, their overlays and things. That's really one of the reasons why I have not fully embraced Haps to be the go-to podcasting or live streaming option when I'm doing interviews through Geek Insider. I mean, I've had some pretty cool interviews. I had Brad William Henke, who is in The Stand. We've had authors, we've had movie stars, we've had directors and things like that. I mean, would that be really cool to bring them on to Haps? Sure. But the other issue is that they would have to create a Haps account in order to live stream and be invited here. That's a roadblock that a lot of publicists do not want to jump over. They want Zoom or they want StreamYard. They want something that they can give their client and bring them on and very easy. Not this whole signing up thing. Whether their client goes on afterwards and signs up, that's really up to them. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times if they're on a junket, I might have 15 minutes if I'm lucky. And I don't want that time being eaten up because they haven't figured out how to sign in here. So that's an issue. Would that be an option that I would pay for? I do for StreamYard. I have the pro version of StreamYard, so I'm allowed to stream to up to 8 different locations, a couple of Facebook groups, a couple of YouTube locations, Twitch, all of those things. So these are things that kind of prevent me from bringing our business over here. Just some things to think about. other random thoughts. I'm procrastinating right now. I'll tell you the truth. I spent the last 2 days basically on the phone with my son to see how my daughter-in-law was doing. My granddaughter is healthy and home right now. She's adorable. She is. I cannot wait to go and see her and munch on her chubby little cheeks. And because it's not my place to, unless I have permission, I won't be sharing photos unless it's privately through instant messengers or private messengers, I should say. And I think that's the way it should be. You know, if Mama and Dad wants to do that, then they can. Good morning, Pops. How are you today? Are you on Haps now? That is so cool. I just subscribed. Welcome to Haps. Um, give this place a whirl. Give it a shot and see how you like it. Again, one of the drawbacks is, unfortunately, your guests have to sign up, and a lot of guests don't want to. I like the studio. I like the notifiers. He says yes. He's checking it out here, figuring out all of these little doodads and things. I had a problem with my good mic, so I had to switch to my webcam mic. But I'm still getting used to Haps. But I want to throw the question out there again, and not you, Nita, because I know I said I strongly suggested that you do it. Why did I strongly suggest that you do that? Because you have a voice, and I think you ought to use it. And I have a voice. I never really liked using it, except for when I was singing, and even then, that was work. But I have to get used to it, because it's a stepping stone to the next thing. And what is that next thing? That next thing is basically Comic Cons or book lovers conventions, and being out in the public. And, you know, Geek Insider was kind of a gateway for me to expand and do the things that I've always wanted to do, but I never saw a pathway. And it's really kind of funny how I say that I tripped into the comic book industry, and then the people in there picked me up and dragged me all the way in. And I didn't kick and scream, and I didn't fight it way too hard, because it covers all of the creative things that I want to do. It's got writing, editing, art, and it's broadening my horizons as far as speaking to other creators, learning. So I'm always on a learning curve. I mean, by the end of 2020, I'll have one comic book credit, thanks to Luke Stone. He writes Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. And, so I've got 2 pages that are going into his book. And I've got 8 pages of maybe 28. When it's all said and done, we'll see what the art looks like. But I've got 8 pages of art bought and ready to be lettered. I'm lettering. I have tried flatting. So anybody who's into comic books knows what flatting is, and that is kind of filling in the colors for the colorist to finish off. So I've done that. What haven't I done? I haven't done the actual art. I haven't done sequentials. I haven't. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't done, but I'm slowly building up my credits, and hopefully I will have a little bit of an art credit. I'm working on something with Nita, which is a 4-page kind of it's not erotica yet, but it's leading towards that. It's kind of an intro story. So that's really kind of cool. Speaking of erotica, I know that pivoted to like unexpected places, didn't it? I want to put together a panel of writers who write the hot stuff, whether it's romance or erotica. And I think it would be valuable for people who want to write in that genre and get some insight and where we draw the line as far as our writing with that stuff. So I'm definitely interested in speaking to writers in prose as well as perhaps in comic books. I think that there are a lot of similarities. For comic books, I can't speak for anybody else. I start with prose, and then I have been scripting out a few things. So I'm thinking about how many scripts I've been working on. So there was a 2-pager to Luke. I've got the first 8 pages. Actually, I've got the whole thing scripted for The Dying, which is my horror comic. I sent C. Michael Lanning, I sent him, was it 4 pages? I think it was 4 pages that he's creating art for, and it looks fantastic. I can't wait until you guys see that. I've got another 4 pages that I sent out to Randy Zimmerman. Hopefully we'll see something maybe in Arrow Comics, maybe. That's a possibility. And I've got about 2 other scripts that I need to finish, but not only that, I need to find artists for it. We'll see how that goes. Art is not cheap, you guys. If you want quality artists, it's not cheap. And, I guess that segues really nice into the crowdfund that I'm doing for my book. It's not because I need to pay for my book necessarily. It's to pay for the art, because a lot of the stories in that book are going into comics. They're being scripted out, several of them. And I think it would be really cool to tie that in where later on in the future, when I have a few of them finished, to have the beginning, the prose, where it started and how it turned out in comic book form. Who knows what will happen? So that is the Compendium of Dread, an anthology of dark fiction. I can't wait. In fact, I've got to go back in there and read them out loud, which is another project that I'm working on, is turning that into perhaps an audio book. But in reading it out loud, anybody who writes and struggles with dialogue, read your stuff out loud. It helps with the dialogue, it helps with the flow, and you can pick up a lot of the things that you might have missed just by writing whatever's in your head, because sometimes it doesn't translate from here through your fingertips. So that is probably the biggest tip that I could give anybody who loves to write. Other random thoughts? Not really. I'm on day 42. I've done my 1.5 miles this morning. Had the place pretty much to myself, and the place I mean going through the park. Oh, yeah. This morning, you know when you have that like weird, creepy feeling and stuff. So I got to the park and I saw a cushion by the running path. And I don't know, my brain just kind of goes into safety mode. Like, So then I kept on watching, like in the trees and the bushes and all of that stuff for homeless people who might jump out, because then I was hyper aware that I was by myself. And, even though there are houses nearby or whatever, I'm like, if somebody jumps out at me, uh, I'm like, what would I do? And so I was very hyper aware this morning for the first time that I was by myself, and it was just odd to see kind of a dirty cushion there, like somebody maybe crashed there for the night, and that was the resting spot. And it was out of the norm from my normal, what I call my 9 o'clock club. And it's not a club; it's just the same people who are there walking their dogs, mostly older, a lot of walkers, a couple of runners and things, but we all see each other every day. We don't know each other's names for the most part, but we always say hello and good morning. And so to see that, it was just one of those things where I was just like, oh, all right, maybe I need to be a little bit more careful. And so I had my phone on, and I was like, holy crap, I don't even have keys to like hold and jab if I needed to poke somebody and run. Just one of those safety things. Nita says, affording Daphne and making some beautiful smut is her hashtag life goals. Daphne, for the first time, drew a human for Michael Oden for Elysian Fields. I think was it Achilles that she drew, and she did a fantastic job. And the cool thing about her art is you immediately know it's her. I don't know that I would take up a bet, but I bet in a lineup I could probably pick out her art. And isn't that what artists strive for? To to be recognized through their creations. I think that's I think that's super cool. And there are other people who, when I see their art, I go, "Oh, that must be so and so," and then I look, and sure enough, I'm right. So that's very cool to get to that point. Um, I don't know that I'll ever see that with my writing. I think it's very different for writers because I write all kinds of things. I mean, I write from blockchain to the creative process to mindset to I don't know, fart jokes. I mean, whatever. So, am I going to be known for that? Maybe one day I'll have a catalog of stuff, and people go, "Yeah, I follow her because she writes a little bit of everything." You know, I'd like to think that I'm relatable. I guess, but I have no expectations. Do you know what I mean? I don't expect that I'm going to have a huge audience. I don't expect that I'm going to sell a crap ton of books. I don't expect that people will know my name, or that I'll be recognized wherever. Um, I have no expectations as far as that. Do I have goals? Yeah, I hope we all do. Uh, but I think that is a very personal thing. Like, what are my personal goals? I want to get stuff published. I want to write. I want to create. I want to talk to interesting people, which kind of brings me full circle as to why I'm doing this, to be better at talking to people. If I can't talk to myself, I mean, who the heck can I talk to, right? I mean, practice here. That's good. Anita says, I get it. It's not all I have, it's just what's flowing now. Uh, I mean, what are the goals? What are the goals that we're setting for ourselves? And I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions are crap. They really are. I mean, sure, it's great, new year, new you, and all that stuff, but you are you. And if there are things that you need to work on, you don't need to wait until the start of a year to do the goals. I started, I just, one day I said, I am sick and tired of being fat and uncomfortable in my own skin. And I said, I'm going to start a 30-day challenge. And the 30-day challenge wasn't so that I could stop at the end of 30 days and go, I did it. It was to create a healthy habit. Goals. I didn't need to wait until the new year to do that. I was feeling uncomfortable right then and there. So what the hell are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I can't wait for other people. I've learned this. It's been really hard for me to stop waiting for other people. Uh, One case in point was a friend of mine who wanted to write a book, and he had a hard time focusing. He knew he wanted to write a book. He's got the great ideas. He's got content for it, but he had a problem organizing his thoughts. So he was like, well, what can I do? And we sat together for hours and days going over an outline to make sure that there was enough of an arc uh, that made sense. And then he disappeared. What did he do with it? Not a damn thing. And I asked about it and just like, how are you doing? Just to ask what, just not a progress report, not to crack the whip or anything like that. What are you doing with it? And he didn't do anything. I said, well, dude, I can't want this more than you. I didn't say that to him, but I guess I'm saying it to him now if he's tuning in. I cannot want something for you. If it's yours, I can't want it more than you want it. I cannot want your success more than you. I will celebrate your success, but I can't do it for you. I don't have the time. And when I was doing things like the Compendium of Dread, I started that project about 3 or 4 years ago. And I asked my writer friends, the ones who were not published, okay, specifically my friends who are not published, who said that they wanted to be published. And I said, send me your stories. Send me your stories. You're going to get credit for it. If, again, not having expectations of it ever making money, I said, at least you get a credit. You'll have a book that we can print, and you can sell them if you want to at cost plus, some overhead charges. Boom, easy, done. Published. No one answered that call. No one. And I said, I have this idea for a book, and not one damn person sent me a story. I don't have time to chase you down. I want to write my own stories. Thank you very much. I don't have time to be chasing you. So it took that long to put together these stories, my stories, and go, okay, well, if you try to be nice with the language, if you do not want it that bad, I can't want it for you. Guess what? I put my stories into one book, and it's getting published. Period. Because your goals were holding me back. And it wasn't even your goals. I think my goals for you were holding me back. Does that make sense? My goals for you were holding me back because you didn't follow through, because you weren't taking it serious. So at what point do I say, okay, I cut my losses here. Enough is enough. I have to go my own way. Would it be nice if I had other people along with me? Sure. But hey, if our timing's off, our timing's off. Can't do anything about that. I can't force you guys to do what you don't want to do. Nita says, "No fucking say it. Should have got off your asses, motherfuckers." Yeah, yeah, it's true. I want success for everybody. I want people to have their blessings and their joy and their happiness. I don't wish negativity or pain or anything on anybody. And but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I've got a cool thing. And don't get me wrong, I am not perfect. There have been a couple of opportunities that I missed because they didn't hit the deadline. It wasn't on my radar or high enough on my priority list to participate. Uh, do I regret it? Yes and no. I try to live with very few regrets. I have one that I can count, and I will make that right when I see her uh, when I'm dead, and I'll be able to say I'm sorry. That's really the only regret that I have. Everything else is I own it. I own it. I'm like, you know what? If I was honest, I wouldn't tell them this, but if I was honest with myself, I'd be like, well, I saw the project. It looked really kind of cool, but insert excuse. Oh, it's my puppy. My other puppy is scratching. Um, yeah, and I came up with an excuse, or I was not present, and I own that. I could have been a part of something, and when I see the success of it, I am not sour grapes about it because I own the fact that I didn't participate. And I congratulate those who followed through. And good on them because it's really easy to get lost in the weeds, get sidetracked. It's really easy to say, nah, I don't want to do it right now. The queen of procrastination. So, wow, I've been live streaming for about 38 minutes, you guys. I didn't expect to just ramble on and on with these random thoughts. Um, I kind of prefer having a topic. I much prefer having interviews. So maybe tomorrow I will open up the invitations for anybody who wants to pop in here and just have a chat. Wait a minute. What day is today? Today is Saturday. Oh, well, speaking of chatting, tomorrow is Sunday Comics Brunch, and that is under Comic Book Advocates Network and the Geek Insider Network. It will not be on HAPS. So if you want to tune in to that, Rob Anderson and I will be sitting most likely with C. Michael Lanning, and we'll open up that chat with people who are in the comics industry. And I don't know if we have any specific topics, but I think it might be what we're looking forward to in 2021 because 2020 has been such a shitstorm for so many people. Yeah, Sunday Comics Brunch. That will be tomorrow at 11:11. That proceeds the Sunday Funnies with what are you? Okay, I'm almost done. You can wait for a minute. Um, Sunday Funnies with Randy Zimmerman on Indie Volt Radio. So if you are on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to Geek Insider. It ends with an S, Geek Insiders, if you do a search. Indie Volt is INDIE_Volt, VOLT. And then you can also follow me on YouTube. And if you're looking for my socials and stuff, most of them are public. Head over to my link tree. It's linktr.ee/MEREJ99. Been around since 99, guys. So I'm not brandy new. It's just I'm finally kind of working for myself and not so much in the background anymore. So definitely give me a follow on the socials. If and I don't do, I'll be honest, I don't do the follow for follow. If I like your content, if you're not a complete spammer or total asshole, I will follow you. Because I love creative people. I love podcasters and live streamers. I love artists and writers of all genres. I don't care about race, creed, or color. If you have decent content, you have a follower in me. On that note, you guys, the other dog's got to go out. I call her my zombie dog. Why are you still alive? Really? You want to come up here? Yeah? No? All right. She's got to go. I have to go too. I am procrastinating. On that note, guys, thank you for tuning in. I am live streaming on Happs. Make sure that you head over there. It is Happs, HAPPS.TV. And you can use my invite link. So haps.tv/invite/MEREJ99. You can search for that. Google me, and you'll see that stuff popping up all over the place. Nita says, bye, go draw. I have to draw. I'm procrastinating. Yes. I have ideas, though. They're a little bit off the woohoo, but I think it would be unique. I'll talk to you later about that, Nita. Maybe we'll actually get on another Happs exclusive live stream and just talk about it. Let's brainstorm. Wouldn't that be fun? Bye.